Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of your favorite military real estate podcasts. My name is Albert Ramos. I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about PCSing and home buying. Now, PCSing is one of the most stressful times for military families, hands down. You know, it's extremely stressful. I've been through 4 PCSs myself, and every single time, you know, it'll definitely test your relationship with your wife, because there is simply a lot of things that need to be done. You know, you need to find a place, you need to get on waiting lists, you need to change your kids in school. There's so many things, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what is the step-by-step process that you all need to follow in order for you guys to make PCS season as stress-free as possible. So let's start digging right into it. The first thing that you want to do whenever you are PCSing is researching the area. Now, I want to talk about this, right? Because as a leader, I'm currently a gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. As leaders, right? The easy button for us as leader is go to base housing, right? And base housing, again, I don't like to talk bad about base housing. We can go back and forth about the pros and cons of base housing. However, the one thing that base housing has that anywhere else do not have is the conveniency of living so close to your work, right? And again, that's the only thing. We can go back and forth. Trust me, I talk to people on a daily basis about that. And that is the one thing that base housing has everyone beat, right? Which is the conveniency of the location. Now, that does not mean that just because it's so convenient, you should press the easy button and direct everyone to base housing, right? It's not. Because what if for you, the priority is not the conveniency, but the priority is for you is generating generational wealth, meaning making smart financial decisions in order for you to set yourself and your family for generations to come up for success. You know, so that's a conversation that you need to have, right? Because the earlier that you start, the more generational wealth you're going to be able to generate over time, right? So when is the perfect time for you to start this? Well, as soon as you rate the VA home buying benefit, right? That's the best thing. So the very first step that you need to do is, if you're planning on buying a home and start building that generational wealth, is research the area. Okay, we got to research the area. Some of the things that you want to make sure that you do when you are researching the area is think about what is it that is attracting you to that specific area? Is it the amenities that you're going to have in the neighborhood? Is it the location from the base or where you're going to be working at? Is it the location of where your spouse is going to be working at? There's a lot of things that you need to take in consideration whenever it comes to what is it that's driving you, because that's what's going to facilitate the conversations with your realtor. That way your realtor is not stabbing at things in the dark. The second thing that's extremely important is you need to find out how safe the area that you're going to be living in is, right? Because that's where you're going to have your family. Not only that, you don't want quite possibly the biggest investment in your entire life to be in an unsecure place or in an undesirable location. One of the things that I would recommend for you to do is go on Google and do a quick search of how safe is that area. That's what's really going to help you out to determine if the area is not. Has there been any type of crazy incidents lately? What type of crazy incidents are we talking about? Are we talking about carjacking? Are we talking about in-home thefts? Are we talking about, I don't know, domestic violence disputes? Those are the type of things that you want to make sure that you understand moving into that location. One of the also important things that we want to make sure that we take a look at is, if you have children, you have to look at the school districts. You have to look at the rating for the actual schools that your child is going to be going to. Because it's kind of pointless, right? If you're trying to build generational wealth, that your child is in a school that is not preparing him to what to do with the wealth that you are building. Makes absolutely no sense. So you got to make sure that you look at the good schools, because that's going to be a driving factor for your researching the area. But not only that, what about traffic, right? And this is depending on the tolerance that you have with traffic, right? If some people don't mind traffic, some people take the time out of when they're in traffic in order for them to simply decompress from a hard day's work, right? Some people simply hate traffic, and then when they get home, they're already all pissed off at their wife or the significant other, right? Because they were stuck in traffic for 30, 45 minutes. So traffic, it's an important thing to consider whenever you are researching your area. Now, are you one of those people that it's just home and like to live, out in a lot by himself or whatnot? Or are you one of those type of people that like to go out over the weekends? So also research what type of places are around there. I'm gonna be honest. This is what I do whenever I look at places for my clients. One of the biggest things that I do is what is the rating for the schools if they have children? If not, what's the nearest Costco? I'm sorry, I'm a Costco fan. I swear, Jaime, I am not affiliated to Costco in any type of way. Simply, that's just my favorite store to shop on. So I always look at what is the nearest location to the Costco. That's just a pet peeve of mine, though. So maybe you have. If you have a pet peeve of that, just drop it in the comments and let me know what stores you can't live far from, okay? Step number 2, you have to know your budget. It is not your realtor's job, or it is not your loan officer's job to determine what your budget is going to be. My job as a realtor, is to help you find the perfect home that you're actually going to be called home. Not a house, home. And I can assist you in that. However, it's not my responsibility, right? It's not your loan officer responsibility to do your budget for you. The only thing that he's going to tell you is, based on your current finances, you can buy a home up to X amount. Let's say you get pre-approved for $600,000. Just because you get pre-approved for $600,000, that does not mean that you have to go out there and you have to spend $600,000. Do a budget. Find out how much money, based on how much you're making. Is your spouse working? Do you want to go over your BAH entitlement? Do you have a side job? Are you willing to get a side job to live in the area that you want to live? Those are all things that are going to be a deciding factor. Because me personally, I'm all about, like I just said, building generational wealth. I do not want to put our service members in uncomfortable situations financially. I want to make sure that whenever I have the satisfaction that whenever I put a service member in a home, is because I'm helping them develop that financial freedom and that financial wealth in order for them to continue their financial goals. Some things to consider whenever you are planning a budget, okay? The main thing to consider is your debt to income ratio. Your debt to income ratio will dictate how much is it that you get pre-approved for, right? But if you already have a high number of finances attached to credit cards, or attached to car payments, or attached to anything else, that's going to be a deciding factor on how much money you actually want to spend on an actual home. The next thing is, and I want to cover this, because there are going to be 3 things that are going to affect your mortgage payment, okay? One of them, it's going to be the HOAs, the homeowner association fees. Does the place that you're living into cover HOAs? That's going to affect your monthly payment. The second thing is going to be your property taxes, okay? Property taxes play a huge role, especially in the Southern California area, play a huge role, because if you're looking at something in Menifee, it might have higher taxes, or if you're looking at something that's getting developed, you're going to be looking at something with higher taxes as something that already been paying taxes for a while, and the taxes are going to be lower. Also, another thing that you want to make sure that you consider is your maintenance expenses. Your maintenance expenses are going to be huge because if you are irrigating, right? If you have a huge backyard and you have a pool in there, now you know that you're going to have to create those new expenses. Maybe pay a pool guy and put it in your monthly budget. Your monthly expenses and your maintenance expenses are going to play a huge role whenever you are developing a budget, whenever it comes to buying a home. The third thing that you want to do is you want to hire a professional and hard-working realtor, okay? You want to make sure that that realtor is working hard for you and is looking out for you, right? The reason why I like to do these videos is because I want to make sure that this information is out there for all the service members out there, whether you're in California or whether you are in Camlet June, whether you're in Hawaii, anywhere in the continental United States. I want to make sure that you're getting this information. And I want to promise you that if you hire a knowledgeable realtor, that they also have this information out there for them. So even if you don't utilize me, right, because you're not in the Southern California area, hit me up. I'm a VA loan professional. This is my bread and butter. So you want to hire someone that has vast knowledge in the type of loan that you are getting. Because if that person is not knowledgeable, he's gonna encounter hiccups that might hinder the transaction. Me and Maurice spoke in one of our last podcasts, which I will leave the link in the description. We talked about the notice to perform. Go watch that video so that way you know what a notice to perform is. Because if you don't hire the right realtor, and 9 times out of 10, if a home falls out of escrow, it's the realtor's job. It's the realtor's fault, right? If you fall out of escrow because you didn't have a knowledgeable realtor, now we're talking about that realtor costs you money because you have to pay for the appraisal. You have to pay for the physical inspection. You have to pay for, maybe if you're moving from one place to another, you have to pay for movers, right? So you got to make sure that you hire a knowledgeable realtor that is there to not only make the transaction smooth, but also to fight for you. Now, I always say, right, that the first step in order for you to buy a home is to get pre-approved. Right? And that is the first step. The reason why I put in the home buying, like whenever you're PCSing, to contact a realtor first is because most of the times, 9 times out of 10, knowledgeable realtors are within the community know which are the lenders that have the best rates for the type of loan that you are going to be getting. So that's why I'm saying contact a realtor first, so that way he can direct you and he can assist you. If you already have a loan, right, or if you already have a loan officer, great for you. But if you don't and you are simply lost in the home buying process, contact the realtor first, so that way he can direct you to a knowledgeable loan officer that they already have a relationship. Because I've encountered this before, right? What's happened to me is a client comes up to me and they already have their loan officer, right? I've been in situations that I already know the loan officer and it works out. But I've also been in situations where I do not know the loan officer, or it's a loan officer in a known financial institution, right? And the known financial institutions, you know, like the big banks or credit unions, they do not work over the weekends. But the problem with that is that homes get sold over the weekend. So if you're trying to put in an offer and the client is telling you, or you are telling me, I want to know how much my monthly payment is going to be, I can give you a ballpark, but the actual person to give you that information is going to be your loan officer. And if your loan officer is nowhere to be seen over the weekend, that is going to delay the transaction. Because the early bird gets the worm. So if someone puts in an offer and that offer gets reviewed either right away or gets reviewed early Monday, and you cannot get a hold of your loan officer all the way up until like Monday afternoon, that's going to delay the transaction and you just lost on an opportunity. So that's why the step of getting pre-approved, it's so essential, and it's essential that you get pre-approved with someone that's already ingrained within the community. If you guys want, please let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like for me to give reviews on places that I've worked with before, right? Or places, or you guys can even ask me like, hey, what do you think about Veterans United? What do you think about Navy Fed? What do you think about Bank of America? I'll let you know what my honest opinion is on all of those places. All right. This is the exciting part, okay? The exciting part is that the last step is you already pre-approved. So the last thing that you need to do is you need to begin your home search, okay? So what we as realtors do is we set you up with a home search, okay? That is literally tailored to what you are looking for. And then now what we're going to do, at least if you're one of my clients, my job as your realtor is to make sure that you get into the home that you love. And I will do absolutely everything in my power. So what I always tell my clients is, hey, guess what? We are going to go out every single weekend. If you're available every single weekend, right? We're going to go out every single weekend until we find the home that you love. In order for us to do that, there's certain things that need to happen. Like, for example, by Wednesday of the week, you need to be contacting me and telling me like, hey, Albert, what do you think about the options that I have in my home search? If you want to be set up with a home search, just comment down below or DM me and I'll set you up with a home search, okay? I'll set you up with a home search, and then by Wednesday, we're already communicating. That way, by Thursday and Friday, I'm the first agent reserving those homes, right? And then we are the first people going into the home, so that way we have the advantage over other people, right? Because sellers' situations are different. Maybe a seller needs to get rid of the home like right away, right? And doesn't want to be waiting around for the perfect offer to come in. Maybe they just need an offer, right? Or maybe, yeah, you're dealing with that agent, right? That it would rather wait, but then now you're affording me more opportunity to communicate with that other agent, and that other agent is seeing like, oh my goodness, like this guy can really communicate. And that is how you build relationships in between agents. So that way, maybe you don't even have the best offer out there. I've had situations where I've been able to get service members and veterans into homes, me not having the best offer out there. But sometimes what the seller really wants is someone that is going to close on a home. And please, if you're an agent, comment and let me know if this is true. Sometimes, the majority of times, what sellers want is someone that they can close on their home. That way it goes without hiccups, right? So if an agent submits an offer $10,000 over mine offer, but he just submitted the offer, he never followed up, never did none of that stuff, right? But I'm following up with them every day. I'm giving them the information right away that they're looking for. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to be like, hey, this offer is $10,000 less, but this guy has been on top of his stuff. And guess what? I know that if you go with this guy, you're going to be able to close. That is why it's so important for you as a client that's looking to buy a real estate. You talk to someone that is knowledgeable and is willing to do the extra work for you. And something that I understand, right? And I think this is why I'm so passionate. For me, this is not a job. Like real estate, yeah, you make a lot of money and all that stuff. But the reason why I do these videos, the reason why I'm so passionate about what I do in real estate is because I want to make sure. I was that Lance Corporal once. I've said this before in my podcast, right? Like I was that Lance Corporal once that didn't have this information. And I'm passionate about this because once I saw the amount of wealth that service members can generate from owning their home, it's simply game over. Like it's simply game over. The generational wealth that you are going to develop by you taking the first step of researching your area, from there, making sure that you are in a safe place, making sure that you contact a realtor, making sure that you get pre-approved by someone that is knowledgeable in the local area and the local market and has the best rates. Once you have that, it's simply game over. Like you will take a decision that you will take at an early age, and I can guarantee you that you will look back at it and it will probably be the best decision that you will ever take in your life. So if you're ready to take that first decision today, listen, just so you know, if you take this decision today, you're probably sitting down in your bed or in your couch, or you're looking at this in your work, right? And you be like, man, I really want to do this. Just so you know, it's going to take you on average from today to the time that you're moving into the home. On average, it's going to take you around 3 to 4 months. So if you are thinking, even considering about taking this decision, let me help you find out what is it that you need in order for you to start making this decision. If you're in the Southern California area, I can definitely help you out to find out how is it that we are going to get you to be the next homeowner here in Southern California. So you guys can find me in the information that's down there, or please click on the link above or below me if you are in TikTok, if you are in Instagram, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next one.